Hey guys, so we're going to be doing a Bitcoin technical analysis video today. We're going to be doing a little update from the past videos. As you can see, the targets that we've been giving for a few weeks now have actually happened now. Two of them have been met. We said mid sevens, so 7,500, and then we said 6,800, and we have gone to 6,750. And we've had a pretty nice push up so far. We're going to look at the lower time frames first, and then we're going to go into the higher ones, and I'm going to tell you guys some interesting things. So on the 1 hour, we actually had bullish divergence from this peak to this peak, and it confirmed, and we had a nice bounce from here. So this bounce basically backed us with the bullish divergence. We also had the bullish divergence on the 2 hour as well, which is even better. So from this peak to this peak again, so similar to the 1 hour, and it would coincide with the price action. So if you look on the 8 hour, I'm going to quickly update you guys on this. We said that we were basically rolling over. This is called rolling over. The price action basically rolling over and coming back down. And this looked exactly like it did before. So on the previous dump. And I was warning everyone about this. And everyone was looking at the falling wedge. And this is exactly what happened here. We're basically gone right through it, and we've dumped right through it. And then we were loading up shorts. If you follow us on Discord, or if you follow me on my YouTube, you would have seen that we were loading up shorts from 9,500s. We were loading up shorts from high 8s, basically like 8,900, and then we had a swing short from 8,600, which was a very good call, and we got in around here, and we held it all the way down to 8k, and then we took profits, and then we got back in about right here, and some members even held the 8,600 short. So as you can see right here, 8,237, we had them stacked from 8,200 to 8,040. We said that we were going to retest this trend line. I actually made a video before this happened, and some of you guys caught that as well. We came back and we retested this trend line, and we've dumped quite a bit so far, almost $2,000. So it's been pretty good for us trading this market, even though it's been going down. A lot of people have been getting wrecked, as in a lot of discords that I was in, they've basically been saying from 9Ks that they're DCAing into the long because they believe in it, even though they're leverage trading, which is absolutely insane. So I'm glad that played out. It looks pretty cool, as you can see. So we're going to move on to the weekly. If you can see here, right here, we've got the 200 EMA. We're not going to talk about that. Firstly, we're going to talk about the 21 EMA. I've talked about how this is a very critical EMA on the weekly, because in the bear market, we basically close under, and then we go up, we fake out the top. The bulls try to push us out, but they can't, and we come back down, and the same thing keeps happening over and over again. So this could keep happening over and over again, but I don't believe it will, because we're too far down. We're simply way too far down. And yeah, so that's exactly what happened with this little pump that we had. We went to 10,500, little scam pump that we had, and then we've closed on top twice, and we just couldn't hold. The bears were too strong, and we've come right back down. We're actually about to close the second one below it. So unless we have another couple grand pump from China news or whatever, we're not going to be getting up there. So I'm going to change this to the 55 EMA. If you were following my channel, we've been looking at the 55 EMA pretty closely actually, and we've been saying that it's very important to our style of trading. Basically, we closed right under it now, or we're about to close right under it, and we did on CME. So I wanted to talk about CMEs first. CMEs closed very bearish. We were looking for 7,600, 7,650 for us to close, and we did actually close under there. So now that gives us continuation to the downside. That's exactly what we're looking for. And now I'd say for the next few weeks, I'd say for the next 2 to 4 weeks, we're going to have continuation to the downside. Obviously, because of this, we're going to have some minor bounces in the middle. We're obviously not going to go down in one straight line. That just never happens. But we are going to be seeing those really, really low targets that we had. So moving on, we're going to be talking about the 200 EMA. If we do actually drop down, this is going to be a pretty good support. We may actually bounce off this, but as you can see, last time we went into the bear market and we tested the 200 EMA, we dumped right through it. And usually it's good to not FOMO into a short if you're not already in a short, because you get a retest of this. Just like the 21 EMA, you get a retest of it and then you go back down, just like any pattern as well. And I want to show you guys this pattern that I showed you guys in the previous videos. We actually have a head and shoulders right here. So we've got left shoulder there, right shoulder here, and head here. And the target for this head and shoulders is around $4,000, which is a pretty insane target. It would coincide with our mining ribbons that we were talking about in the other video. If you remember, we talked about the mining ribbons and the hash ribbons basically, and how they basically, it's a 70% drop or around that every single time this happens, and miners are selling like crazy because it's getting harder, and all the new miners are basically getting bled out the market. Obviously the ones that didn't know it was going to get this hard, or there's just too much pressure on them, so they're all selling right now. People are profit taking, miners are profit taking, and we're basically absolutely dumping to hell. And it's not the only reason we're dumping. We're obviously in a bear market, but this is a big reason. And the hash ribbons that we talked about, so if you haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch that video. They've actually crossed, and that's made us drop a lot. So miners are selling, and usually it's a 70% drop, but right here, which isn't the best example, but right here it's around a 50% drop that we had, 55% drop, or nearly 60% drop that we had the last time it happened. So, but usually it's a 70% drop. So let's say we were to drop from here, we'll do it from all the way from the top, so 10,500 even, and we were to drop 70%, that would actually put us exactly at that low. That's 69%. It would put us at 3,151. So that's our low from the last bear market. So hopefully we don't go lower than that, which wouldn't be very good, but we're basically going to be seeing those 3,000s if it's supposed to play out the exact same as that. Now we may just go down here and basically hit around here and create a high low instead of completely dumping to this area. We may just go to 4,000s, which has been our target for a while. But firstly, we're going to have to fill those other targets of 5,000. So we had 5,000 on the last dump as one of our targets. So hopefully that happens. And as you can see on the RSI, we've been rejected. So if we could actually push past right here on this $10,500 candle, if we could push past and come above on the RSI, I've talked about this, and it's very important. That's why I want you guys to follow. Basically, we would have been able to go up and have a pretty good pump, and we'd basically come out of bearish control territory. But just like a pattern on the price action, this is very, very valid, and we should be able to see some strength in the RSI if we want to see continuation. But as you can see, we failed to create any highs in this pump. We didn't even get to this 10,987 pump, or high, sorry. So that pump was pretty bad for us. Now we've closed below the 55 EMA on the CMEs as well, so we're going to be getting continuation to the downside. Obviously don't expect it to dump straight away and go all the way down to our targets, but we're going to be playing it slowly. We're going to be playing some bounces, and also we're going to be looking for high time frame bullish divergence. If you can see, we're actually building some bullish divergence. As you can see, RSI is pointing straight down, so it's looking for more downside. Obviously there's no momentum dying to the downside. If in fact, both on the weekly and the daily, we're in bearish control territory now. We're coming down to about 40. We're not even in the middle anymore, so it's looking pretty bad. We've had rejection on the RSI on the daily as well, so it's not looking the best. We're actually about to get a cross. Let's see what that is. Interesting. So we're about to get a cross off the, oh, actually I noticed this the other day. So the 200 EMA and the 55 EMA. If we change that to the 50, let's see how close we are. So we're basically crossing on this one. As you can see, we're basically touching, it's kissing each other. So we're going to be getting that bearish cross very soon, and that's not going to be very good. The 50 and the 200 EME is basically what most people refer to as the death cross. Usually all the other ones are called bearish crosses. I don't call them bearish crosses. I call mostly all of them death crosses, but this is called an actual death cross, the 50 and the 200 MA and the 200 EMEs. So EMA, sorry. So it's looking very bearish. This is going to be pretty big actually on the daily also. So be careful for that. We may see a little pump up to trick traders or to liquidate people that are stacking up on shorts, but I wanted to show you guys basically also this as well. Yeah, so as you can see right here, people still think this is a bottom, and longs are stacking up a lot. We've got 59% longs right now, 40% are short, and 59% is a pretty insane number. They're stacking up on Binance, but on BitMEX and Bitfinex, we're basically stacking up on the longs a lot, and overall we've got 59% longs. So it would make sense for us to go down and liquidate some more longs and continue to the downside. So that's just more confirmation for us to go to the downside. But with death crosses, usually you see a fake out and then we dump. So be careful with that. That's a very nice death cross that we've just seen. I'm going to show you guys the MACD before wrapping this up quickly. As you can see from the MACD, we talked about the 2-day crossing, and I said that we're going to get continuation to the downside if this 2-day does cross. If you can see right here, at around, we'll say on this candle, at around 8,600 it crossed, and I said that we were going to get a pretty hard dump because the last time it actually crossed was here. I'll show you guys. The last time we crossed was around here at $13,000, and we came all the way down before having a bullish cross. We had a little fake out here, but we've come all the way down to 7,350, and we've finally just had another bearish cross on the MACD, and we had a tick down. I said look for this tick down and look for the momentum, and as you can see, the momentum is pretty big and it's just building and building. So right here we were ticking down, so momentum to the upside was dying, and now we've ticked down for downside, and we're basically stepping up like a ladder sort of thing. Can you see that? On the first one it's a little small, next one is bigger, so momentum to the downside is getting bigger and bigger on the high time frames. And we're literally looking exactly like this, and usually you see a little move up like this. It looks like a little like this, and then it comes back down. You shouldn't look for it to go all the way back up because that's just not going to happen, but you should look, if you're playing along, you should look for a little move up to short it all the way back down, or long it and then quickly short it. And also I wanted to look at the 4-day with you guys. We talked about the 3-day as well, but sorry, we'll go to the 3-day actually. So the 3-day we talked about, and that's exactly what's happened here as well. We said that I gave you guys another heads up because if you had missed the other video, you wouldn't have shorted off this. But the MACD, if you can see right here, it crossed at around 8,400, or let's say even 8,000. If you saw that video, if you missed the 2-day one where we talked about the MACD, you would have basically not got in. But then I mentioned the 3-day one as well, and I also told you guys about that because the last time we got it was around 13,200 here. And I said look for this cross, and we crossed and we ticked down. We crossed on the moving averages. These are called moving averages on the MACD, and we crossed down, and momentum to the upside was dying, laddering down, and it's fully just come and ticked down. And we're sitting on the 200 EMA on the 3-day, which is probably good support, but I do think it'll break. And as I said, we were looking for that $7,600 area for a CME close to basically confirm downside. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Keep up to date with the videos and add me on Discord if you want more help or if you have any questions to ask me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.